Okay, class, let's take a look. Oh, you forgot to remind me for recording. Let's take a look. So here, we say consciousness rooted in the hatred. Basically, this one, we include many, from a very tiny, very subtle to a very coarse one, you see, all degree of aversion from violent range to the subtle irritation. Recently, there is one violent range. You see, have you ever watched the news just recently? An inspector, I think, killed his wife with a gun. You got the news? You got right? Actually, in the evening, I used to have a stroll in the garden. Actually, I make friends with 3 Malay guys. They are all police, Interpol inspector. So one of them, they say they know him, you know. So I say, how come you will let a guy carry the gun, end up to kill the wife? They say, yeah. They say it's not supposed to happen. You see, for them it is very strict rule to possess the gun and carry the gun, because the guy is inspector, the criminal inspector. He will carry the gun just throughout, even though he going back to the home. You see, so they said if they assess somebody, mentally unfit they wouldn't let them carry the gun. So this incident really is a shock for the whole police. The industry, they're really shocked for that. So they say for every bullet they fire, they have the right to report. So something remind me that I remember I read from the internet. I don't know whether it's the fake news or real. I say, if let's say there's a criminal, they point the gun in front of me, and I'm very close to him, and I prepare to run. I say it is quite hard. The guy shoot me if I run in this way, zip like that. So he said, yes, you can run in this way, he said. But provided he couldn't shoot accurately. But if he can shoot accurately, he still will die. So he said, the best is just surrender. Whatever they want, just give them. That's all. So finally, you don't hurt yourself first. Don't become a hero unless you are confident for being a hero. So good. Here I got one more is Interpol. Okay, another one is also a police. So one day I will introduce them to you all. The Malay guy. Very good. They can talk to me. One play football with me. Who is the Interpol here? Okay, so something regards to the aversion here, maybe including the subtle irritation. As I mentioned, we might be irritated sometimes. Okay, here you say displeasure, domanassa. Please remember the Pali at the same time, because sometimes the English word is confusing as Chinese sometimes. So just remember it. Okay, displeasure is domanassa. He said experience as an unpleasant feeling, aversion, patika. Then he say, displeasure, this is a mental attitude. Why it keep on mention mental attitude? Because later, the physical feeling and the mental feeling, they are different in abhidhamma. There's segregated strictly. Okay, so you know that, this is patika. Aversion, this we call it is in the we put it to describe our mental feeling. Here a little bit the Dharma theory. They say displeasure is in the aggregate of feeling. Aversion included in the aggregate of mental formation. Basically, aggregate usually we call it as a 5 aggregate. It's very basic in our Buddhism. But once we bring the 5 aggregate in the Abhidhamma, you have to take time to really know it very well. So number 1 is the rupa. Rupa is the material aggregate. Second is the feeling. Remember here it mentioned the feeling is under what? The displeasure is under the feeling. See or not? In Chinese, it's a shou xiang xing shi. The third one is the perception aggregate. The fourth one is the volition aggregate. The last one is the consciousness aggregate. Whereas here, besides the aggregate of the feeling, the one more, the aversion is the aggregate of a mental formation. Mental formation. So just know that's all. Later on, we'll go in detail how we put these two. So next we go to the consciousness. root in the delusion. Basically, for those who easily for being triggered angry, what should we try to do? If depend actually have strong connection with the people character, especially usually the anger type people, they also is a smart type of the people, but they also have a tendency to magnify the flaw, the flaw, FLAW, they have a tendency to magnify the flaw. So usually the anger type people is a smart type people because they're very sharp, they can analyze things very well. But at the same time, sometimes they will magnify the flaw and also will create the people who surrounding them feel very uncomfortable. Besides, they don't have much patience to listen to the people. Basically, most of our boss they belongs to anger type people. If they fall sick, basically they will become demanding, deteriorating, and behave very demanding. So Elena, you know who I say who I'm saying, very demanding, you see, because they are in the beginning, they are also anger type people. But anyway, anger type people, once have been purified, they will become wisdom type people. So they prefer opt for being arahant. That is the tendency. Whereas for greedy type people, basically if we can recognize them easily. If you watch the eye from the greedy type people, they're very mild one. Very mild one. You know, this is a good husband or good wife. You can see very easy one. Good father. The eye can tell you already. Basically, once they purify, they will become a bodhisattva. They are the one who prefer choose for being the bodhisattva as a greedy type people. So here you can watch everybody eye, you will know, so this is very sharp. The eye can kill people one, so they will be the angry type people, anger type people. So they have a tendency always raise up these two of elements. So basically, after certain type of the cultivation, we will try to balance. We should balance ourselves. Don't over kind, but don't over intelligence. You should have a balance between them, so that you wouldn't be bullied by people, but at the same time you will be kind all the time. So this is how we try to do. If you are the angry anger type people, basically the kamatana it's very suit you. It's the 4 elements. Analyze of the 4 elements. For the angry type people, you can just balance yourself by practicing the metta bhavana, or angry type people. Whereas for the greedy type people, it's the best they should practice aksubha. We call it as a fullness contemplation, because they are too kind. Sometimes they will be very greedy, so they have to use this fullness contemplation to encounter the greedy. If let's say you are in the Mahayana, the school Mahayana, if let's say you are the type of greedy type people, you'll be very soft. In order to balance your character, maybe you should chant some mantra, especially they got some very strong Dharma protector, like Surangama mantra, all this, because to counter your character. If you are very greedy type people, you are very mild already. By chanting the Guan Yin, we worry you will deteriorate your character. Because the overly kind people, they will end up become the people without principle. If a people without principle, meaning to say that it's not good. It's not good. And then same, if let's say you are the angry type people, you shouldn't chant the mantra like the Surangama, which is so strong already. You should chant more Guan Yin to balance yourself. You get it? Actually, every in Abhidhamma, the way we see Guan Yin, we will go to the Cetasika. So actually, Guan Yin is the manifestation of the compassion of the Cetasika. So once you chant it, the value carried by the Guan Yin will be magnified by us, you see. So once the value has been magnified and you absorb the value, then it will become partial of you. So you must choose the right one. Okay, get it? So Chuntat, let's say, okay, so Chuntat, the peacock mantra you chant, you feel it, this is more strong one, is a more mild one, the bodhisattva behind.
This Mahamayuri.
I know.
Actually, the mantra is very powerful. Yeah, it's
powerful.
peacock mantra is Mahamayuri. Yes.
I know. So it is a very strong or it is a very mild one, the bodhisattva who carry the
I
mantra.
consider quite powerful one.
Powerful. Although, hey, so if you go back to check who is the anger type people, ask them don't chant so much. So they even worse.
But Reverend is not, because I do find a few have improved in their this character or
Character.
behavior.
Okay, if let's
Those
say,
who easily get angry when now they look quite mild.
okay, if let's say they end up
That's
with
what I
this.
get feedback from their wife.
If it happen this way, meaning to say that maybe they achieve certain samadhi through chanting the mantra, so the character change. If let's say they absorb the character behind the bodhisattva, that will be different already. So it depends actually how you cultivate or how you do that. In Tibetan Buddhism,
Actually, it's a manifestation of Kuan Yin.
观音啦，OK，好，
Yeah.
especially in Tibetan Buddhism, not all the bodhisattva look mild one. Some is very fierce one, you see.
The character is the Pusa is looks mild, but then the mantra itself is powerful.
But if the bodhisattva value is the key point, if let's say it's come from the bodhisattva, so the value will be different. So
Yes,
make
yes.
sure we choose the right method. Okay. Okay, this is something regards this one to the, for this characteristic. Now we go to the consciousness rooted in the delusion. Hui Ping, can you please read the passage?
Okay. Consciousness rooted in delusion. One consciousness accompanied by equanimity associated with doubt. One consciousness accompanied by equanimity associated with recklessness. The two types of consciousness involve sheer delusion. Thus, and in all, the 12 types of unwholesome consciousness unprompted is attached to the description of these two chittas rooted in delusion. The commentators offer different explanations for this omission. The Vibhavini Tika and the Mahatika to the Visuddhimagga maintain that the distinction in terms of prompting is omitted because neither alternative is applicable. They state that since these two chittas lack natural acuteness, they cannot be described as unprompted. And since there is no occasion when one deliberately tries to arouse them, they cannot be described as prompted. Lady Sayadaw.
Sorry, I think you read the wrong page already.
Yeah.
From 38 to 39.
You jump out already. Yes.
Okay. So I should go back.
Right to the 6.
Okay. I should go back. Consciousness rooted in delusion. Mohamu la Chitani. This last class of unwholesome consciousness comprises those chittas in which the other two unwholesome roots, greed and hatred, are absent. Usually, delusion leads to the arising of greed or hatred as well. But though delusion is always present as a root in chittas accompanied by greed and hate, its functions there is subordinate. In these last two types of unwholesome consciousness, however, delusion alone is present as an unwholesome root, and thus they are classified as consciousness rooted in delusion. Because the functions of delusion is especially evident in these two types of consciousness, they are also described as consciousness involving sheer delusion. Momuha Chitta. The Pali word momuha being an intensification of moha, delusion. There are two types of consciousness in which delusion is especially prominent. One is associated with doubt, the other with restlessness. Accompanied by equanimity, upekasahagata. Even if a desirable object is present when a delusion-rooted consciousness arises, it is not experienced as desirable and thus pleasant mental feeling. Somanasa does not arise. Similarly, an undesirable object is not experienced as such, and thus unpleasant mental feeling, domanassa, does not arise. Moreover, when the mind is obsessed by doubt or restlessness, it is not capable of forming a determinate positive or negative evaluation of the object, and thus cannot be associated with either pleasant or painful feeling. For these reasons, the feeling that accompanies these two cittas is neutral. The feeling is equanimity, upekkha. Associated with doubt, vicikiccha sampayuta. The commentators give two etymological explanations of the word vicikiccha: vexation due to perplexed thinking, and being devoid of the remedy consisting in knowledge. Both these explanations indicate that vicikiccha, doubt, means perplexity, skepticism, or indecisiveness due to the prevalence of delusion. The citta associated with these doubts is the first type of consciousness rooted in delusion. Associated with restlessness, uddhacca sampayutta. Restlessness is disquietude, mental distractions, or agitation, and the citta infected by this restlessness is the second type of consciousness rooted in delusion. According to the Abhidhamma, the mental factor of restlessness is found in all 12 unwholesome cittas, but in the other 11 cittas it falls, sati, is relatively weak and its function is secondary. However, in this last type of citta, restlessness becomes the chief factor. Thus, this last type alone is described as consciousness associated with restlessness. Do I continue?
Yes, last
Okay.
paragraph. Okay.
It should be noted that no qualification in terms of prompted or unprompted is attached to the descriptions of these two cittas rooted in delusion. The commentators offer different explanations for the omission, the vibhatinika and the mahatika, to the Visuddhi Magga. Maintain that the distinction in terms of prompting is omitted because neither alternative is applicable. They state that since these two cittas lack natural acuteness, they cannot be described as unprompted. And since there is no occasion when one deliberately tries to arouse them, they cannot be described as prompted. Lady Sayadaw, however, rejects these positions, holding these cittas to be exclusively unprompted. He contends, since these two cittas occur in being naturally by their own intrinsic nature, they need not be aroused by any inducement or expedient means. They always occur without trouble or difficulty. Therefore, they are exclusively unprompted, and this should be seen as the reasons the distinction by way of prompting is not mentioned here.
Yes, thank you so much. Hui Ping, remember, I used to torture people by reading long passage. You prepare oxygen next time. After reading, use oxygen. Don't continue the reading. Okay.
Okay,
Okay, I just omit the controversy issue lah, huh? So that's all only. Okay, so these two, consciousness rooted in the delusion and also consciousness rooted associated with the restlessness, both they are the last two lah, huh? Basically, it is very easy to understand how consciousness associates, with the with the doubt. Basically, if we doubt to certain thing, meaning to say that you are uncertain. You keep on changing your stand. For example, if you doubt to somebody, meaning to say you don't trust somebody. For example, recently you now got so many fake scamming. I mean the investment scheme. If let's say you put the money, then later on you feel uncertain. If you take out the money and invest to another company, then you feel uncertain. You take it out and invest to other company. If you keep on do the thing in this way, we say that, oh, you have already arisen. The consciousness associated with the doubt because you feel uncertain. You don't have a confidence to either any other company. So that from that spiritual, from the way you do, we know that, oh, you don't have confidence, or we say you are doubt. Okay, so this is case number one. Then second, the doubt also can happen in this way. Sometimes if you go to the company, especially you notice the career, your colleague, okay, they talk very, they talk very, in a very low voice, very low voice, but they will watch you a little bit and then smile a little bit and talk a little bit. So you will start to skeptical. Oh, they try to, they try to badmouth behind you. You feel skeptical. So this is also another type of the doubt. But anyway, in Abhidhamma, basically, this type of the doubt, we don't feel comfortable. We will feel uncomfortable. We feel displeasure. But in the view of Abhidhamma, he say, this type of doubt, basically, they are displeasure. They are equanimity. They are neither pleasure nor displeasure. They say this is equanimity. So sometimes, what Abhidhamma categorize, it will be quite different with our actual experience. So that's the number one. Then second is regards to the restlessness. Same for the restlessness. Basically, if you're restless, we can feel it easily. Once you do nothing, your mind start to restless. Basically, how do we know our mind is restless? We can actually check from our brain actually. Nowadays, through the MRI scanning, we call it as a wandering mind. Which part of the brain control the wandering mind actually is the default mood network. What is the brain wandering? What causes the wandering mind? Usually we call it as a default mood network. Let me show you. Default mood network is the part of the brain always cause us keep on wandering and feel the existence for ourselves. So I can just directly put here default mood network of the brain. Default mood network, yes. So this is the one, default mood network. Okay. See, this is the picture for the default mood network. Default mood network. Basically, default mood network. Default mood network is working. Your brain will keep on wandering. So this is. This is the function of the brain, which is quite automatic for everybody and natural for everybody, and it is very energy consuming. Nearly 80% of our energy are consumed due to our wandering mind. So this is a part we call it as a default mood network. Scientifically, we call it as the dorsal medium prefrontal cortex and the posterior cingulate cortex, the precuneus and the angular gyrus. Okay, I think if you tell buddy, Junta, I think you tell your guy, I think nobody understand. Never mind, we just know, nowadays through MRI, we know that our mind sometimes we manifest our mind through our brain, you see. So meaning to say that for those who are able to conquer or tame your mind, especially you make this part a default mood network malfunction, meaning to say that you will feel the unification with the you feel the unification with the universe. So that is how you experience the samadhi. You see or not? Such as during daydreaming and the mind wandering. So nowadays, MRI help a lot. So once you meditate, you feel, wow, you unify with the whole universe. It's because the default mood network had been conquered by your samadhi. So this is the way as a Buddhist, we try to achieve the samadhi. Okay, so this type of wandering mind basically also is equanimity, according to Abhidhamma. So restlessness could be conquered once you achieved it to the first jhana, but it will be eradicated once you achieve for the first stage arahant only. So it's common for you for being daydreaming. So please enjoy the daydreaming. But anyway, you are discouraged to enjoy the daydreaming. Why? Because according to the experience, just now we've been read the passage. If you are in the restlessness mind, it's easy for you to trigger for the greedy and also the greedy, also the anger. That is the experience. If you go to practice the Qigong, basically they will try to ask you to develop the abdominal breathing. Why? Instead of the chest breathing. Normally we are in the chest breathing. You try to put your palm on your chest. It is moving, right? So basically meaning to say that we are always in the chest breathing. Actually, from the yoga point of view, chest breathing can easily trigger the greedy and the anger. But if let's say you achieve, after long-term meditation, or you purposely train your abdominal breathing, you try to put your palm on the abdominal. Okay, if you purposely train it and you make it become a nature, so basically abdominal breathing, they will, not easy for you to trigger the greedy and the anger. Why? Because abdominal breathing usually bring the calm mind instead of the wandering mind. So for those who can meditate quite well, you can check your breathing. Most of the time, it's supposed to be abdominal breathing. And then in the daily life, you notice that it seems the frequency to be greedy or anger become less already, decrease already. Get it? Anybody experience that? Can you put up your hand? No response. Okay, so I talk to myself lah. Okay, so that is that's how we know regards this So remember, just write down the point especially nowadays people know this very well you can this is good information for them Okay, next let's continue to the passage Okay, number one, here you see we call we call it as consciousness rooted in the delusion. Delusion. Yes. Okay. So we finished everything here already. Okay. There's one point among the 12 citta, 12 consciousness, all are able to create reincarnation except the last one. The reason is the restlessness, the consciousness of restlessness is too weak to bring us for the reincarnation. So that's why except this restlessness, the other 11, if you once you pass away, if they become the dominance. So the consequence is we will be reborn to either one of them, the woeful state, animal, ghost, hungry ghost, or the hell. So that this 11 now, they are the one who bring you to reincarnate to those stage, to those realm now. Okay, finish here. So this is totally 12 consciousness. For this is regards the controversy issue. I think I just missed it. We purposely ignore it because we got so many things to remember. Okay, here we got some exercise. We got the 8 type of the consciousness rooted in Greek, maybe illustrated by the following cases. Here, maybe, okay, yes, we come to the number 1. Okay, Kok Kong, can you please read number 1? And then, can you tell me the answer? Which consciousness it belongs to? Please.
With joy, holding the view that there is no evil in stealing. A boy spontaneously steal an apple from a fruit stall.
Okay, so which consciousness you think there is?
Don't know, Sifu.
Okay, we just check from here, you see, we got egg 1 here, right? See, yes, okay, on here, we got egg. Okay, you see, with joy, so we see the joy already. So just now, the question is it associated with the wrong will or dissociate with the wrong will just now?
Holding the view that is
Associate or dissociate?
dissociate?
Okay, he thinks stealing no evil, right?
Yeah, he thinks no evil.
That is a wrong will already. So we
That's
need to
wrong.
say associate with the wrong will. Is he prop or unprop?
Huh? Sorry?
Is he prop or unprop?
Is it prom or unprom?
Yes.
Boy spontaneously steal. Is it unprom?
Yes, unprom. Okay, if you are prom, meaning to say somebody encouraging you. So you see a class, so this is the key point here, you see. Okay, associate with the wrong will. Class, what do you think? Especially the Najib who have been sentenced for the crime. Do you think he think stealing is do you think he think stealing is a willful or is evil or not evil? Elena, what do you think? We can discuss the case because already the judge already sentenced him already lah. Elena, what do you think?
I think he's greedy.
I know he's greedy, but you think, but what do you think that he think it is a evil or not evil from stealing?
He think it's not evil.
He think it's not evil. Okay, you think it's not evil. They pray for so long every Friday. Finally, it is not evil. You mean? Or maybe they think it's evil, but after they perform the action, they go to cleanse it. Yeah, possible, right? Some they have the wrong view that they think, okay, never mind, whatever I commit, okay. So finally, maybe I just go for clearance. They go to somewhere to clear it. I heard that some Muslim they have this type of myself thinking. So I think they know it's an evil. Of course, they know what. So already, you know it's wrong already. But maybe sometimes they think, oh, we are still in the we are still developing country. It's very common in Eastern, right? No, sometimes we think, very Eastern, common, all like that. What? Everyone is like that. What? But I also take care of everybody. So that their mindset is very different. They know that. So actually, the real situation, most of the time, there's a mixture. You know. There's a mixture actually. We know it's not good, but sometimes people who perform a wrongdoing, or sometimes it's a good person perform a wrongdoing, because sometimes people can do many good things, but they do the bad thing at the same time. A real situation is like that one. We always we are the combination from good and bad, not just only bad only. Sometimes also a lot of good thing. So that's why got so many supporters. Outside from the court, right? So meaning to say, many people feel that he's a good guy, you see. So meaning to say that this is a mixture. In Buddhism, basically, once there's a mixture of combination of the karma, sometimes, for example, once the bad karma ripen, for example, there will be some car accident, all right? But sometimes the car accident happen maybe in front of the hospital, all right? Okay. So I remember, there's a one case, okay, there's one aeroplane jumped down, you know. Aeroplane fall, plane crash, you know. Even though it's a plane crash, but according to the newscaster write down that, this is a good accident. Why? Because the plane crash at the right time, at the right place. Why? Because there is a training, for the rescue, in the beach. Accidentally, they got so many rescuers there, you see, and the plane crash just ended at the sea. Got so many rescuers, they are joined the competition. They come to help the guy, you see. So that's why the report it wrote in this way: the accident happened in the right time and the right place. Many people rescue him. So this is a very wonderful karma combination as we see here. So I remember the case. Plane crash, okay, is in the beach. There is so many this is how to say, it's in the beach. Plane crash is in the beach as a rescuer, many rescuer, many people rescue. Yeah, plane crash in Florida, you see. This one, you see. Let's see. In the lake in Tanzania. No. Okay. So I want to write. There's the competitions. Competition for Baywatcher. We call it as a Baywatcher. No, it go to other place already. Okay, I don't have a good keywords, so Google doesn't understand which news I refer to. So class, if the case happened in this way, meaning to say that even though people commit a bad karma, but the good karma is helping him. So finally, you are still fine. You end up, you still look fine, even though after the karma ripen, you see. Okay, next, let's take a look. So this is, we call it the doubt and the restlessness. Basically, for the 12 consciousness, each one contain the delusion, all right? But they are not the dominance. Remember, you already draw a diagram, the subset diagram for it, okay? Then all is equanimity. They don't have, they are neutral in feeling. And then lastly, let's take a look. See, associate with the doubt. This one, why we call associate with the doubt? Because with the perplexed thinking and the word of the remedy consisting in knowledge. So we call it as a doubt, okay? The restlessness is because of disquietude, just now we mentioned already. Oh, okay. So no, just now we asked Gohong to solve the problem number 1. So number 9, again, okay, yes, Popo, can you please read number 9?
With hatred, one man murders another in a spontaneous fit of rage.
Okay, so which one you think? We got 2 hatred consciousness. This is proper or improper?
Unprompted, I think.
Unprompted, okay. So hatred, so must be displeasure. Once
yes,
accompanied by displeasure, okay, and then unprompted. Okay, and then here easy only we know one is the distracted mind, another is the delusion. Okay, so we already finished class. We already finished the diagram for this. Let's see. This is the glance 1.1, page number 28. Okay, so now we go to the rootless consciousness. There will be totally 18 of the rootless consciousness. Basically, this rootless consciousness, you are very strange. You feel very. That will be the stranger for you. The reason is usually once we learn Buddhism in the very beginning, we do learn all this. But now it's due to its advanced study, you have to know all this 18 rootless consciousness so that you have enough theory to show you especially our mind cognitive process. Okay, so next, Juntat, can you please read the passage for this?
Unwholesome resultant consciousness. Upakasa hagatam
Oh, no need,
Sure.
Pali, no need. Just read
No need,
English.
okay.
Yeah.
Eye consciousness. Okay. Eye consciousness accompanied by equanimity are SR2, ear consciousness, 3, nose consciousness, 4, tongue consciousness, 5 is body consciousness accompanied by pain, and 6, receiving consciousness accompanied by equanimity, and 7, investigating consciousness accompanied by equanimity. These 7 are the unwholesome resultant types of consciousness. Rootless consciousness, the word ahottuka means without roots and qualifies those types of consciousness that are devoid of the mental factors called hitu roots. These types, 18 in numbers, do not contain any of the 3 unwholesome roots, greed, hatred, and delusion. Nor do they contain the 3 bright roots, non-greed, non-hatred, non-delusion, which may be either wholesome or indeterminate. Since a root is a factor which helps to establish stability in a citta, those citta which lack roots are weaker than those which possess them. The 18 cittas in this class falls into 3 groups: unwholesome, resultant, wholesome resultant, and functional consciousness. Unwholesome resultant consciousness. The first category of rootless consciousness comprises the 7 types of consciousness that results from unwholesome karma. These types of consciousness are not themselves unwholesome, but karmically indeterminate. The word wholesome, akusala, here means that they are resultants produced by unwholesome karma. The words qualifies not these states of consciousness themselves, but the karma from which they are born.
Okay, never stop here a moment. This is a 2-hour lesson. Anybody wish to go to restroom? We can take a break 5 minutes. Anybody need? No, no need. Okay, so we just continue. So Jundak, please continue. Okay, eye consciousness, please.
Eye consciousness. Or I have to read Chakku Vinana. The first type of resultant consciousness in both classes, the unwholesome resultants and the wholesome resultants, are those that are based on the sensitive matter, pasada, of the eyes, ear, nose, tongue, and body. These 10 cittas are collectively designated the 2 sets of 5-fold sense consciousness. Eye consciousness arises based upon eye sensitivity. Its function is simply to see, to cognize directly and immediately the visible object. The other type of sense consciousness also arises based upon their respective sensitivity, and their function is simply to cognize their respective objects, to hear sounds, to smell smells, to taste tastes, and to feel tangibles. In the case of unwholesome resultants, the object is unpleasant or undesirable, Anita. However, the impact of the object on the first 4 sense faculties is weak, and thus the associated feelings is neutral, that is equanimity. But in the case of unwholesome resultants body consciousness, the object's impact on the body faculties is strong, and thus the accompanying feeling is bodily pain. Dukkha.
Okay, thank you so much. Okay,
Thanks.
Okay, raise hand by Zoom once you finish. Okay. Okay, thank you so much. Class, let's take a look to this diagram. Yes, table 1.3. Can you please go through the diagram by yourself and analysis for it? Meaning to say that you can see some rules and regulation behind the diagram. Once you finish the analysis, please raise hand by Zoom, okay? Okay, you got 8 people here. Okay, 1 people finish. 2 people finish. 2 people finish. 3 people finish. Okay. Yeah, 4 people finish. Okay. The way the way you check the data, it seems like you're checking your account the way I see you. Because now people are going to pay the tax already. Okay. Yes, Mr. Leong, can you please review us what's your finding to the table?
Actually, I'm so not sure what the thing derived to.
You're not sure. Okay, never mind. I guide you, Mr. Leong. Okay, Mr. Leong, you see, okay, any similarity between number 1 to 7 and the 8 and number 15? These 2 pair. You see, we here all is unwholesome resultant. Here all are wholesome resultant. So both are what is the similarity and what is the difference? You see, if you compare, Mr. Leong.
Like for example, number 5 and number 12.
Yes.
There's a pain and pleasure in the body. So there's sukha and dukkha.
Yeah, meaning to say that's a different, right?
Yes.
Okay. So what is the similarity?
Sorry?
What are the similarities?
The similarities are the rest are like 1, 2, 3, 6, and 7.
Yes, applause to Mr. Leong, 100 marks. So that is the finding I want you to find, Mr. Leong. That's all only. You see or not? Okay.
That's why we are looking into the accounts very in detail.
Yes, so you 100% pay the tax, I know that. Okay, so let's take a look at class. If you don't find it by yourself, you cannot remember one, I can guarantee you. So you have to find yourself. You will notice one thing, how come the body, they got pain and also the joy? Okay, the reason is only one. Why there will be so much different is because why the rest is equanimity, because according to the Abhidhamma, the bodily contact is the strongest compared to the rest. Okay, okay. For example, how do we know? We call it as an eye consciousness. Okay, well, Abhidhamma is quite close to our science nowadays. Plus, let's take a look. That is the meaning for the eye consciousness. You see, class, this is our eye. At the back is the retina. You are watching the color plate. So with the help of the light, so the light will reflect in your retina. So whatever appear in your retina, that is the consciousness. The retina, we call it as what? Passatta, the sensitivity of the eye. See or not? So once we say that there will be the eye consciousness, meaning to say this is the image that appeared on the retina. Likewise, class, take a look. This is our ear. Okay, so we are hearing the sounds, right? There are sound sources. So the sound actually will come to the ear and also will touch the ear nerve, right? From here, it will send a signal to the temporal lobe or auditory cortex here. So, but it haven't go to this extent. Basically, the sensitivity in the ear, we call it as ear consciousness. Likewise, the feeling is the equanimity. Equanimity. It could be joy, it could be equanimity, either joy or equanimity. You see, if let's say this is a wholesome resultant, there will be all are equanimity. Yes, all are equanimity. No matter wholesome resultant or unwholesome resultant, they will be the same. Then let's take a look. This is the tongue. Same only, the theory. We can use science to explain. So this is the body, the feeling. But one thing is the body feeling is not equanimity, but the body feeling is either joy, is either pain, or joy or pleasure. But the rest are all equanimity. It shows what? It shows that if you are going to sell the clothes or you're going to sell the car, you have to let your customer to test the car by themselves. Because when they try to drive the car, or maybe the lady try to wear the clothes, the sensation is stronger if you let their body to feel the product instead of watching only. Anybody agree? Will you buy the clothes, just watch the clothes, or you prefer try to wear? Anybody prefer try to wear? Number 2 is the wear. Watch only is number 1. 2, right? Watch only you are extraordinary. How about Chunta? 1 or 2? Watch only or you have to try? You see, now most of the people want to try. Why? Because when you try it, number 1, you touch with your hand, you say, oh, this is like a silk. It's very, you feel comfortable, right? It is very first beginning, right? Okay, when you wear the clothes, you feel comfortable, then you will see through your eye. According to Abhidhamma, eye consciousness, just purely eye consciousness itself is equanimity. But later on you found, wow, the dress is how to say, it's gorgeous. Once you say that, because it's already go to the brain already. Your brain tell you that, oh, it is good, it is gorgeous. But before it goes to the brain, we haven't reached to the brain yet. Now when we talk about the consciousness, meaning to say it still is in the retina, this part only. All is very superficial only. That is the meaning of the consciousness. It's only in the retina only. So that is the meaning here. Passatta, we call it as a passatta, sensitivity. Okay, so that is the concept for Abhidhamma. Why Abhidhamma said that the touching is so strong, okay, compared with the watching and hearing? Okay, we let you know the answer coming. There will be the explanation for you. But here, we notice that okay, that's why the people, it's very good advertising. They know that we have to let customer to try the product, to touch it, not just to see and hear only. Okay. Likewise, if you eat the durian, you think you eat durian with the hand more tasty or with the chopstick? Which is more tasty? Eating the durian with the hand or without the hand? With the hand or without the hand? With the hand, right? Okay, Hui Ping 5 with the hand, right? Because you use the hand, you feel first, right? Not wow, this is very creamy, or it is very hard. Okay, you very creamy. Then you start to taste it with the smell and with the tongue. And then when you eat it again, okay, class. Once the texture come to the tongue, you feel, oh, the texture is very good. I used to describe to the cake made from celery. I said, oh, the texture is so good. It's very, flexible, 彈性. Okay, can you tell me, this is from the body or from the tongue? If I feel the texture through the tongue, this is from the body or from the tongue? Can you answer me? One or two? The texture, wow. Okay, or maybe the noodle, oh, the texture is very good. Body or the tongue? Number one is the body. Oh, got wrong already. No, okay, basically if you feel the aroma, wow, very good and very nice, that is the taste, that is from the tongue. Meaning to say that actually in our tongue, we include the body in itself. Am I right? You see or not? Because you see, you're feeling this is very hard. Okay, then you touch, this is very soft. The tongue also has this type of function. So meaning to say that once you feel the noodle, wow, it's very, very, very tasty. You say, oh, the taste, the noodle is very good. Besides the taste, including the texture is from the body. So that's why we have to let people try with the tongue. It's the best way to sell the food, is to let the people to eat the food. That's the best way, because they can experience the strongest impact according to Abhidhamma. Okay, so here, we are learning Abhidhamma. I'm not telling you how to enjoy the thing. Yeah, this is according to Abhidhamma, the theory behind. Okay, so let's see. Okay, so okay, so Mr. Long basically have almost analyzed the whole thing already, but how about the function? Sally, can you further analyze? Okay, Mr. Leong, can you further analyze the function? Any rules and regulation? Any rules and regulation you see from the function here?
The thing is always maybe a joy without displeasure.
The joy is, it belongs to which one?
Smile producing.
Yes. Okay, class, smile producing is unique for Arahant only. Remember, always remember, smile producing. Why? Because Arahant or Buddha, this is their last the last body already. Once they smile, they shouldn't create any karma. Because this is the last life already, right? A final life already. They won't have any next life. So of course they won't create any karma. So if they smile, we put the word smile producing. That we call it as a functional. Functional is not the karma. It's either karma, it's neither karma nor resultant. That we call as a functional. Okay. So remember that, okay. So by knowing all this, so we will come back to this already. Now, let's take a look. Okay? We'll come back to see here. So here, number one, the concept is we call it as a rootless consciousness. Okay, class, if the consciousness possess, for example, this is the example of the consciousness. Class, let's take a look. Okay, if let's say, okay, you try, okay, so all is still in the Chinese, I couldn't get the English for you. Okay, class, okay, basically, if let's say you take out, okay, this is our body, okay, in Abhidhamma, basically we learn things, the citta and also the cetasika. If let's say you are able to stop your mind and then you try to take out your mind, you magnify it, you will notice that actually this citta consists of many mental factors. This is something we discover, all right? And then we notice that if let's say we name it, we label it as this is a wholesome consciousness. The reason because there will be because of the existence of the non-greedy, non-hatred, non-stupidity, cetasika inside this consciousness. If let's say we label it, this is unwholesome citta, because with the present either greedy, anger, or stupidity, cetasika. If both is absent, we will call it as a rootless. Rootless is the consciousness which is most unstable compared with the wholesome consciousness and unwholesome consciousness. So that is the meaning here behind. No worry if you feel confused or you feel you still don't really understand, it doesn't matter. Because later we will keep on repeating this and you have to repeat for yourself for many times until you understand. You can just build up the theory with the keep on repetitive. At least I think 5 or 6 times with the very sophisticated reading. Without sophisticated reading, you just go through like that. I think I think you can before chapter number 1, you already disappeared already, I think, from the class. So please make sure you won't disappear. Okay, please do more sophisticated reading. Repeat and repeat and repeat, then you will get it. Because it worth, you know. Once you finish this subject, if you go to join any meditation method, the knowledge is more than enough for any meditation method in the market. I can guarantee you. Yes, but I won't compensate you. If let's say if let's say what I say is wrong, I won't no indemnity. Sorry, okay. But because I want you to learn the thing is true wholeheartedly. You will be very fruitful after you learn the whole thing. Then secondly, you see, establish the stability. That's the key word. So just now we say, unwholesome resultant, we got 7, and the wholesome, we got 8. Mr. Leong, again, can you please analyze how come unwholesome got 7, then the wholesome got 8? Where is the extra one?
Next. This one I'm not sure.
Hey, check it again so that you can fully pay the tax.
Shifu should be joy,
Yes,
investigating,
joy in where?
investigating.
Yes, we got 2 investigating, right? One is joy, one is equanimity. Here, investigating only equanimity. Yes, congratulations, Sally. No wonder the tax department send you the card of the greeting for your birthday. Everybody got, right? I also got. They say a best happy birthday to you, but nobody enjoy for receiving the card, right? Okay, okay, joke only lah. So here we can see the difference already. So class, always remember, you study Abhidhamma, number first go to the diagram, analyze the diagram, then see the similarity and the difference and the rules behind. Usually the answer will be there. If you do study in this way, it's very dull, Abhidhamma. So must be always with some quiz between for you, and then you feel interesting. Okay, class, let's take a look. So we already, by knowing all this, okay, eye consciousness, you see, passatta, sensitive matter. So in the eye, it's a retina. Okay, same example to all the faculty. All right. So you see, what's the function of the eye? Simply to see. Simply to see. How come we say it's a simply to see only? Okay, let's take a look. Kok Hong. Why we call it? Why the image? I mean, reflect in the retina. We call it simply to see only.
It's just an image without any further processing of data.
Any further processing to the data. Good. Okay. For example, we are eating in the canteen. We were eating at the canteen during we study in the Fuyan institution. Class, this is the canteen. We study in our school during my study in the Fuyan. Okay. So during we are all eating in the canteen. We are refraining from talking. No talking. You can only give hand sign only for anything. Okay, okay. So we got people on the duty. So this is the people on the duty. They come to distribute the food. But not every time is the porridge that boring lah. Sometimes they will distribute the pizza if people offer pizza or maybe the dumpling. Okay, if let's say the people come to you, we cannot talk. So the people say like this. What does that mean? You are taking the dumpling. So people, Junta, what does that mean? For you.
Sorry, so just now I was distracted a bit.
Yeah. Okay, you cannot talk. You cannot talk. So people carry the food. Okay, then when you see people come, so you show like that. It means what? Junta.
It means what?
The people carry bumbling. It means what?
The one,
want
is
to
it?
put low.
What?
Is it one
The
or the
one
one?
that-
The one, right? I don't know.
Yes, Sally, what you want to answer? What?
I said don't want the food already.
You don't want the food already? No, I want 5. See or not? So yeah, you see or not? Yeah, I want 5. You see, why I say 5, you say
Stop.
not? Because as what Kok Hong mentioned, simply image and the image after the information, after the processing. So basically, class, you see, if let's say we say it's eye consciousness, meaning to say that the information just reflect in the retina. But if come to this, we call it occipital lobe. Class, occipital lobe here. Can you touch yourself? Here is the occipital lobe. Once the image come to the occipital lobe, our prefrontal cortex will process it. So everybody will process in a different way. For Sally, he see the image, but he will process as no, but I say it's a 5. This is the tricky part. So that's why next time, if you don't want anything, don't do like this. You say like that. Quite sure, right? Okay. Or maybe you just like this. But anyway, for Indian, the meaning this is what? Agree, right? You say, I want to roti canai, like that. Teh tarik, like that. You see or not? So meaning to say that, just simply, the eye consciousness, it carry nothing. No significance behind. Everything must go after the brain. So this, later on, we'll talk about this. So here, we talk about the consciousness, meaning to say just simply the image only. Okay, you get it? So that is why we want to talk about the acting rootless consciousness in the first place. Because all the image have to come to all the faculty in the first place without any processing. So after the processing is in the next chapter. So very interesting, right? So don't drop the subject. Study until finish. Okay, yes. So let's keep on and have a look. So let's take a look. You see, just simply to see only. You see or not? Then the rest all is the same. But some is we call it unwholesome resultant. Some is wholesome. Why some we call wholesome resultant and some we call unwholesome resultant? Because the reason it depends on who you met. According to the abhidhamma, you see, here is the wholesome. Wait, sorry. Okay, the very simple, a very simple example for a wholesome resultant in abhidhamma is, okay, for example, Popo met a friend, then you feel so happy and talk to him. Okay, according to abhidhamma, you met a good friend, you met somebody, you feel good. That is a good karma, right? Or sometimes you met the right person. If they're your superior, they will promote you easily, or maybe any adding in addition for the salary, something like that. You see. So if let's say you, of course, in the very beginning you see the people first. So we will use the wholesome, rootless consciousness, eye consciousness, because you met the right person. Likewise, in opposite, if let's say you met somebody, you dislike him very much. Anyway, he still is a superior. So once you met the guy and see the guy, so we are using unwholesome, rootless eye consciousness to explain the whole process. Get it? So meaning to say the wholesome and unwholesome, it depends on your resultant, vipaka, who you met, sometimes we say who you met. So that is the meaning here. Okay, wholesome and unwholesome. Okay, so I think already finished. We go to the next paragraph already. Let me see here. Yes, the body I explained already. Now we come to the receiving and investigating, which we don't really we don't really mention that. Yeah, Sally, can you please read the passage? Receiving consciousness.
Receiving consciousness. When a sense object impinges on the sense faculty at one of the 5 sense doors, Example, a visible form on the eye. First, there arises a citta, averting to the object. Immediately after this, the eye consciousness arises, seeing that form. This act of seeing lasts only for a single mind moment. Immediately thereafter arises a citta which apprehends or receives the object that has been seen by the eye consciousness. This is the receiving consciousness, which results from the same type of karma that produced the eye consciousness. Investigating consciousness. This is another rootless resultant consciousness which arises immediately after the receiving consciousness. His function is to investigate or examine the object that had just been cognized by the sense consciousness and apprehend by the receiving consciousness. The receiving consciousness and the investigating consciousness arise only after the five senses door, and both are the results of past karma.
Okay, thank you so much.
Okay.
Okay, finish class. I want you to go to this diagram. Class, please come to this diagram. Wait, let me show you. Please come to this. Okay, this. Okay, please come to this diagram, chapter number 4. Okay, the limited job. Wait lah. Okay, please go to the the very great object process. Okay, yes, chapter, yes, this one. Okay, please go to the turn on to the page number 155, please. The very great object 155. Okay. Please go through the diagram for twice by yourself, and then please get me the number for the consciousness and the receiving and investigating, please. Once you get the answer, please raise hand by Zoom. Yeah, Mr. Leong finished already. Very soon. Expert in Abhidhamma, Mr. Leong. Elena finish. Second expert. Sally finish. Don't lower your hand first, Sally. After more than half people, I will continue. Don't lower your hand first. Three people finish. Okay, 4 people finish. Yes, Popo, can you please tell me where is the eye consciousness? What is the number for it? Yeah, please on the mic.
It's number 5.
Number 5, right? So after the number 5, eye consciousness is what?
Receiving.
Is number
6.
6. And then after the receiving is investigating is number what?
7.
Number 7. Okay, so before the eye consciousness, what is it?
The 5 door everything.
Yes, okay, so what's the meaning? What's the significance for this? Guys, let's take a look. You see, if let's say when you start to see something, meaning to say that the light will come to the retina. When the light come to the retina, actually, if before you see the things, maybe you're still in the daydreaming, okay? But suddenly, somebody appeared in your, something appeared, you go and have a seat, okay? Once you see it, we call it as a 5-door adverting. Once there's a 5-door adverting, it's only one single moment only, then the image appeared in your retina. We call it as eye consciousness. What is come to the eye consciousness, only one moment only, it come to the receiving. Why? Because you receive the image, okay? So we call it as receiving. So after receiving, only one moment only is still in the eye faculty. This retina, you are doing the investigation. So that is the meaning here. Whereas for the diagram, you see the diagram is shown this way, meaning to say that this is the citta, there will be total 17. Okay, from 17 citta for what? It means that when you start to see the object, and this object will reflect in the occipital lobe, and then you decide to take action to what you see. So the 17 citta is to show the process for this process. For example, what you see is the diamond. If let's say this is the diamond, then the diamond appear here, then you decide, I want to steal the diamond. So that meaning to say that it will involve the prefrontal cortex to take the action. So that is the meaning here. 17 Cittasika is the more comprehensive process to include the whole process. So we are trying to learn each moment is what happening. So actually, if without the jhana, impossible for you to observe. Am I right? Class, you see, Hui Bing, you are seeing a glass, right? I'm holding a glass, am I right?
Yeah.
Can you differentiate the
mark.
glass on your retina or on your occipital lobe? Can you tell the difference? I mean, can you tell me when the glass is on your retina or when it is in your occipital lobe? Can you see the difference?
Well, when I just see it, perhaps it is just at the retina. When I know that it is a mark, then I have already, it has already reached that the process is.
Can you really detect the process or you can't actually?
Very fast.
Very fast.
Yes, that's why. Abhidhamma must be the subject with the jhana. Impossible. Why I can tell? Because we learn science, what? So science tells us the whole thing, you see. So meaning to say without the science, 1,000 years ago, how come people can tell all this? It must be with the help of the jhana, what? Because the jhana will frozen the whole thing and let them observe one by one, then they tell the thing here. So that's why you have to practice the jhana. Without the jhana, what we all learning is just the theory only, or just understand something like biology only. Okay, let's keep on. So we understand that there will be a few more consciousness, namely is the receive the image and investigate it. Okay, so more than that. So now we come to the wholesome resultant rootless consciousness, I consciousness. Yes, Popo, can you please read the passage?
I conscious.
Maybe you just begin with the guide to number 9. Will be good.
Okay. Wholesome resultant rootless consciousness. The 8 types of consciousness in this category are results of wholesome karma. In the designation of the previous class, the word ahetuka was not included because all unwholesome resultants are rootless. There are no unwholesome resultants that are accompanied are rootless. There are no that are accompanied by roots. However, as will be seen later, wholesome resultants can be accompanied by roots, namely by beautiful roots that are karmically indeterminate. To distinguish the wholesome resultants that are rootless from those with roots, the word ahetuka is included in their class designation. 7 of these types of consciousness correspond to the unwholesome resultants, but whereas the unwholesome resultants arise in regards to an undesirable object, the wholesome resultants arise in regard to an object that is desirable or extremely desirable. The first 4 sense consciousnesses here, like their counterparts, are associated with equanimity, that is neutral feeling. But the impact of the object on the body being strong, the feeling associated with wholesome resultant body consciousness is that of bodily pleasure. The rootless wholesome resultants include one type of consciousness without a counterpart among the unwholesome resultants. This is the investigating consciousness accompanied by joy, whereas the investigating consciousness resulting from unwholesome karma is always accompanied by neutral feeling. That resulting from wholesome karma is twofold. One accompanied by neutral feeling arisen in regards to a moderately desirable object, and one accompanied by joy, which arises when the object is especially desirable. Thus, there are 8 types of consciousness in this class, in contrast to the 7 types found in the former class.
Okay. Yeah, please finish this. Rootless functional consciousness.
Rootless functional consciousness. 5 sense door abiding consciousness accompanied by equanimity, as is mind door abiding consciousness. Smile producing consciousness accompanied by joy. These 3 are the rootless functional types of consciousness. Thus end in all the 18 types of rootless consciousness.
Read until you suffocated, please.
Sorry, Sifu. Rootless functional consciousness. The remaining 3 types of consciousness among the ahetukas are not karmic results. They belong to the category called kiriya, rendered here as functional, to indicate that they perform tasks which do not have any karmic potency. Such types of consciousness are neither causal karma nor the result of karma. Within this category, 3 types of consciousness are rootless. The rest described later are with roots. 5 sense door abiding consciousness. When an external sense object impinges on one of the 5 physical sense organs, before the appropriate sense consciousness can arise, example, eye consciousness seeing a form, another consciousness must have arisen first. This consciousness is the 5 sense door abiding consciousness, which has the function of abiding to whatever object is presenting itself at one of the 5 sense door. This consciousness does not see, hear, smell, taste, or touch the object. It simply turns to the object, thereby enabling the sense consciousness to arise in immediate succession. Mind or abiding consciousness. This type of consciousness can arise either in a cognitive process occurring at the five sense doors or in a process occurring at the mind door. In each case, it performs a different function. When it occurs in a five-door process, it is called the bodhapannaccitta, determining consciousness. Its function then is to determine or define the object that has been cognized by sense consciousness. In the five-door process, determining consciousness succeeds the investigating consciousness. After the investigating consciousness has examined the object, the determining consciousness discriminates it.
Thank you so much. Borrow the oxygen from Hui Ping. Remember next time. Oh, okay. Okay, finished. So class, let's take a look. So for the wholesome, I already gone through lah. They're totally 8 with the one extra of investigating. Now we come to this rootless functional consciousness. So class, take a look. Rootless meaning to say that they don't have any root. What root is it? They don't have. They have neither greedy, anger, stupidity, or non-greedy, non-anger, non-stupidity. So they are rootless. They are the functional because they are neither resultant nor karma. So they are the functional. So just a function only. It happened and disappeared. It doesn't. They don't have any trace in our heart, in our brain. No other trace. Which is they wouldn't remain. How to say? They won't leave any mark or trace in our brain or in our karma as a karma. So what is it? Let's take a look. Number one is we call it as a 5 sense store everything consciousness. We go back to the diagram. Please come to the page 155. Do you see 5 door everything? So this is the 5 door everything. When the 5 door everything happen, meaning to say that if let's say you begin to see the object, you begin to hear the object, you begin to smell the object, 5 door everything happen first. Okay, so where is it? I think it's also same. It's supposed to be in your nerve system there. I mean, for each of the Cettasika, it happened for each of the consciousness, all is one moment only with the object. Once you see the thing, you see class, take a look. So once you see it, let's say this is a diamond, the diamond come to your eye. In the beginning, it's supposed to be 5 door everything in the first place. So 5 door everything consciousness with the diamond, all right? Then the 5 door everything, this consciousness will disappear. Still in the retina, the eye consciousness arise. So the eye consciousness will reflect, will appear with the presence of the diamond. Then the eye consciousness will disappear. The receiving consciousness will arise to receive the diamond. Then the receiving consciousness will disappear. Investigating consciousness arise and also will investigate the diamond again. But the object is still there. Why? Because the object can sustain for 17 consciousness, according to Abhidhamma. Then after investigating disappeared, the determining appear again. It will try to determine the diamond. Class, get it or not? After determine, it come here Jawana. The diamond goes to your brain already. So you decide, I want to steal or not to steal. It depends on your morality in your prefrontal cortex. Okay, Okay, wait first. Let me try to finish because our time's up already. Let me try to finish. 5 door everything. Okay, there's one more. We call it a mind door everything. Class, let's take a look. Now, here you're going to see is the mind door everything. Here you see the determining, right? The determining is here, but for the determining, let me see. Okay, this is a little bit complicated. I think maybe I explain in next time. This is the determining. Whereas for a determining, if you see, this is the I door process. If let's say we go to the mind door process, where is the mind door process? Let me see. Where is the okay? Can you check for me the table? A complete mind door process. Table in what page? The table. The table is page number 2, right? No. It's still here. Let me show you. Yeah, the table is in this. Yes. Okay, the table is 19. So I have to get you a class. Let's take a look. This is the great limit absorption. The grade of the sense door, the limit jhana process. Okay, please, we go to the page 166. Okay, 166, the diagram. So let's take a look. The clear object, the obscure object. Okay, okay, this diagram is not that good lah. Wait, let me check for you again. Wait lah, X, Y, V, Okay. Okay, let me come back again Okay, I couldn't show you. Never mind. I will explain in next time. So just at the same time, you know, there's we call a mild evident consciousness that will be good enough already. So the last one is the smile producing consciousness for Arahant. Okay. Yes, Mr. Leong, let me answer a question before we dismiss the class. Okay. Yeah, Mr. Leong, please.
C4, I just want to ask, what is the difference between mind moment and thoughts moment?
Mind moment.
Final moment.
I think it doesn't. Where do you get the answer? It's not from Abhidhamma, right? Mind moment, thought moment.
It's from the book because there's one sentence written as mind moment. So I want to know what's the difference between this mind moment and the last thought moment, that thought moment.
Yeah, I think you have to ask the author. I don't know. If you ask the Abhidhamma, I can answer you. If you don't get the question where from, I can't tell. Sorry, Okay.
And then Sifu, the other thing is this mind moment comprises of these 17 chittasikas?
Okay, basically in Abhidhamma, we call it as a connective process. And 17 Chattasika, it comes from the connective process. Okay, it's not.
And this connective process, can we say as a mind moment?
No, we do. In Abhidhamma, we don't use these words. If it's a moment, it's supposed to be a single thought only, Mr. Leong. If you use moment, single thought only. Connective process is the combination of the 17 consciousness. Yes, moment must be one chitta only. It wouldn't be so many. Cognitive process, the whole process consists of 17 consciousness. Get it?
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. So we finish.